I am attempting Canva slides presenter view. I've never done this, so bear with me. There's gonna be like maybe trial and error. We will see. Um, so this is, you guys see all that, right? Big screen.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't see the chat, so if there are questions that you think I should answer right away, April, let me know.
I will. I'll keep an eye on the chat.
Awesome. Okay. But I'll be in and out of this presenter view because I have links in my thing and I want to show you guys my theory book and all that stuff. Okay. Welcome. We already covered that. Let's just keep going. Okay. Hello. For those of you who don't know me, I am Tara. Yes, it's pronounced Tara, not Tara. Guitar, star, whatever helps you remember. This is the boring slide. No one really cares about this. I'm just going to share a couple of stuff, but the next slide is way more fun. So I'm born and raised near San Francisco, California. I was born in, I live in San Rafael. Now I live in Nevada. I bought a home with Matt like 3 years ago, which is a little bit more up north. Started piano when I was 4. I was always obsessed. I'd go over to my neighbor's house who gave voice lessons, and between her students, I'd run to the piano and like imitate what she would do. And she's like, Audrey, talking to my mom, you need to get her in lessons. She's like, what are you talking about? Tara's never played piano. She's like, no, you need to. Anyway, so that's how that started. I started teaching when I was 14. Did not know what I was doing, was terrified, and I would have loved my method back then, but it has developed to what it is now. I went to a French school. I speak French fluently. Lycée Français de San Francisco. It was called Lycée Français d'Appel, but they changed it. I love languages. Teaching myself Italian. I don't think I have reached 800 days straight. I'm almost there with the Duolingo. These are just like side fun facts, whatever. Spent my childhood in France at my great grandmother's house. So my whole mom's side of the family lives in France. So I used to go there every summer. When I was young, my mom would just ship my brother off and I. So now it's every other year to see my grandma and my whole family. When it comes to piano, studied at the San Francisco Conservatory from age 16 to 18. It was the preparatory division. I did not get in when I applied, which probably was a better thing because it was really close to home and I love my family, and it was probably better that I am a little further away. So I got into Chapman, which I loved. It was amazing, perfect for me. Studied music therapy. And in music therapy, so it's half psychology, half music. But they have you try all these populations and they're like, you have to do geriatrics, you have to do hospice and this and that. And I'm like, I know what I want to do. I want to do kids. Like, just put me with kids. And they'd be like, no, you have to try all of them. I'm like, ugh. No one knew more what I wanted than it was kids. Like, just leave me alone. I know what I want. And then another side fact. Okay, I own my own music school here, but Cascade method is like literally where my heart is now. Like, that's how I want to reach more teachers that in turn will reach more kids. So there's the boring slide. Here is, oh yes, I'm going to address this and not get emotional. Those that don't know what happened, so I lost my husband in October. So I'm dealing with all of that. It's been a lot. I am pregnant, as maybe some of you saw at the beginning. This big belly, I am due in 7 weeks. So that has been holding me. I've always wanted a big family. Anyway, so that's a lot to handle, but I know he's proud of me. Okay, here's the fun slide. It has nothing to do with theory, but this literally just sums me up. What I like, it's really more of what I love, like pink glitter, hearts. I love the sun, dresses, high heels. I have cats. I love cats. I'm a cat person. Hashtag mom life. I've got a kiddo. Another one. I love love. I love shopping at all these places because I love a good deal. I don't pay for expensive things. I like, well, some things, but this, like, I just love going in there for $100. You walk out with like a million bags and a million things and like a million candles and all that stuff. So yeah, this kind of sums me up. Oh yeah, on the side, The Bachelorette and Judge Judy. Matt always asks, so if I had to choose between both those shows, like what would I pick? And I'm like, you can't do that. Like, I just love them both equally. Like Judge Judy just cracks me up. There's no mercy. And then I love Love. So then the whole Bachelorette thing and the drama is just over a glass of wine. That's perfect night. Okay. Next. Okay. The theory book. Now we're getting into it. So I'm going to, I'm not going to flip through like this. I'm just going to share. So I'm going to stop this and then share again, but I'm sharing the white. I'll share. How do I basic? Here it comes. This. Okay. So this is my theory book. So I actually started when I came back from Chapman and came back up here where I live now. In 2010, I started teaching, and then within a year, I had over 45 students. I was teaching 7 days a week. It was literally nuts. But I started in my students' notebooks. I do these grids for like scales and chords and stuff. And I was doing the same thing in all of their notebooks. So I was like, okay, I really need to start putting it into something. So I built my original book in Microsoft Words. My brother thought I was crazy. And he's like, you need to learn how to do Photoshop. So I did. 6 years later, I finally got it on Amazon. So here, I'm just going to scroll through just so you guys can see what it looks like inside. Very colorful. Obviously, there's a little bit of a sea theme you'll see. And I mean, it goes from like such beginner to you could pretty like late intermediate, I'd say. My piano, so for little kids, note dictionaries, where they can put all their notes so they can come back to it. But now I have Note Match, so I use Note Match. Staff vocabulary, musical terms, tempo, rhythm, dynamics, music sentences like face or that kind of thing, or order of flats, order of sharps, that kind of stuff, circle of fifths. Then we get into the chords. I think if you guys know me, you know I love chords. Lots of chord things. Augmented, diminished, seventh chords, love these too. Inversions, and then so a lot of times you'll see like inversions 1 and then inversions 2 or chords 1, chords 2. So it's like the ones are the easier pages and the 2 gets into the harder ones. So and then advanced inversions, this is just like it's arpeggios and it's arpeggios. It gets fancy. You could do it like hands together, blocked. Anyway, inversions 2, scales. So the scales is double pages. So on the left is where the kids will color if they learn a scale, and on the right is where they write it out. So this book is really about like instant reward. When they learn a concept, right away they get to color something, and then they're like, oh my gosh, like, okay, I need to do this other one because I need to color. They just want to color. Okay. So I have all the scales. Actually I don't have modes, but major scales, here are the ones that start on black keys. The major scales one is like C major, D major, E major, all the ones that start on the white keys. Natural minor scales, and then the harder natural minor scales, I got harmonic scales, melodic scales. So they always write it out on the side. So they always have their answers in the book. Melodic, no, chord progressions. I love writing music. I have like music on Spotify and working on my 5th album. So I'm comfortable with improv and composing, but understanding all of these concepts can help a student do that. And you too, like if you go through my program, like it will help you. Chord progressions 1 and 2, 3 and 4. I love the little baby whales. Here's interval section. And then like kind of like worksheets on intervals. And then interval index. This is for ear training. This looks like gibberish. Like you guys are like, what the heck do you do here? And I will get to that. But there's a reason for that. Harmonic ear training, melodic ear training, scale degrees. You got little places for sight reading. Staff paper. We always need a little bit of extra staff paper hanging around, so it's there for you. And then improvisation. So when they can improv in a certain key, they get to color a shape. Obviously, the goal is for them to be able to improv in all the keys. And the time chart. Kids love being timed. I time them for everything. And so we keep track in the back of the book. And that is the theory book. Okay.
There's a question that came through, Tara. Do you have an example to show of the scales written out?
Yes, I have an online example later in the presentation, so that will get covered. Yes, absolutely. Okay, let's go. Yes, no, don't save. I didn't do it. Okay, now let's go back to, oh, Kelly made it. Hi, her son's like in a concert thing right now. Maybe she's just peeking. Okay, and we're back. Okay, so we peeked inside. I'm gonna exit out anyway again. This is Jeremy. Jeremy has been, this is like, I think he's 7 here. He started with me when he's 5. He is now 17, teaches for my school and everything. But I do want to show you guys the chord rolls. So the chords page that I showed you guys, there is, here, let me stop share. There, I do 3 things. I do what I call chord rolls, mega chord rolls, and chord stealing. Literally all it is an arpeggio. That's your chord roll. Here's mega chord rolls over like 2 or 4 octaves. And then chord stealing, let me switch, I'll do C minor. Anyway, so I'll get into why I do that, but the kids love chord rolls, like, and it's to build like finger dexterity and get their fingers moving and all that stuff. So here's Jeremy when he was, where is it? 7. Okay, whenever you're ready. It's messy, but that we don't care. And his little look back like, did you see that? Did you see how fast I did that? Like, so cute. Obviously was not perfect, didn't hit all the notes. We don't care. Kids just, kids literally just want to play fast and feel cool. And if that's, I will let them. I don't care if it's not perfect. Because you want to know where we're at right now? It's crazy. Okay, let me go back to just learning this whole slide thing. Here. This is us now. He is 17. He's learning Hungarian Rhapsody #2 by Liszt. Like the kind of song that I have to sit down and work. Like I've learned it, but never really perfected it. So this is my excuse to maybe perfect it. Yesterday, we finished the whole first section, got all the notes, like crazy. It's anyway. And I started theory with him really young, and those chord rolls got him to play. So, okay, that's Jeremy. Betsy, she is in my course. Okay, I'm just gonna read. Hi, Tara, just a note to say that I love the chord rolls. Now, most of my students already know them as arpeggios, yes, but the different name is really cool. My beginner students can even handle them. Yay, I wait till the 3rd or 4th lesson, of course. I wanna make sure that they are familiar with the keys, and we go for it. My students are so impressed with themselves. It is a really good motivator too. Anyway, just had to share a note. That's about it. Just had to say I love the chord rolls. Okay, I get so many teachers that tell me that they love the chord rolls. Yes, it's arpeggios, but the name is cool. Okay, here's Betsy again. So actually, Betsy had some family issues and she was teaching throughout school and completely stopped teaching and had to start back from scratch. And within 1 month, she had 26 students. And I was like, do you use my method? Like, do you use Cascade method? And she's like, this was what she answered. Hey, Tara, yes, I use Cascade. It has been a game changer. And like, I say this, but there's no weight if I say it. Of course, I love it because I made it. But especially the theory book. My students love the chord rolls. If we're working on a hard song with note reading, I switch to chord rolls. If we need a break, she uses them as a warm up. We switch to the beginner song book, another one of my books. Anyway, she loves the chord rolls. And here, see, I'm holding steady with 26 students. Back to theory book. I have a very advanced student. I call him my whiz kid. He can play Bach conventions by memory. I didn't start him out. He basically taught himself. He's amazing. We were looking at the harmonic and melodic scales today, like in my book. And there's a reason I'm bringing this up, and I'll say it in a second. It keeps him engaged. I appreciate your answers for the book. I give answers to my whole book. I was brave and tried teaching the C chord roll to my 6-year-old student. Okay, so the reason why I'm bringing this up is because my theory book, it's not like sequential, like you don't have to go from A to Z. Like you can jump around and it just fits and meets the student where they're at. So if you get an advanced student, you don't have to do all the beginner stuff. Like you just go straight to the more complicated things, right? Sorry, I'm talking so fast. I just know we are on time crunch and I have so much to say. Okay, this is Jonah. He is also 17. Jonah and Jeremy are really good friends. Started when he was 5. This was his first recital in 2011. One of his pieces was a C major scale. He was very proud to play a C major scale. I won't go in and play it, but like it's all in the presentation and how you it's all in how you present, right? So I make their like, oh my God, we're learning a scale. This is the greatest thing ever. Oh, and then he wanted to play that for the recital. Yes, please. And where we are now, this is December. He played Claire de Lune. I won't click the link, but he's amazing. Okay, this is why I love my book. Obviously, I'm biased, but colorful, cute, fun, inviting, as you obviously saw. All my cute little sea animals. Like it's evolved. If you see the previous slides, a lot of my kids have my old book and it's just like weird shapes. And then my brother's like, you should have something consistent. So that's why I did that. Now it's all sea themed. Again, meet any student where they're at. So if you have like beginner students, you can obviously take them and do all the easy things. And then if you have someone that's more advanced, then you just go straight to the hard stuff. The age range, I would say you could start that book at 5, and all of my students stay with me till they're 18 and they go off to college. Then they just have their theory book and all the answers in one place. Oh yeah, here, the only book I use for kids from age 5 to 18, and all in one place. Like I don't like having a million books and not knowing where to look and everything. And I just love just knowing I have one place to go find all my answers. If I'm gonna write a song or whatever, if the kid is gonna write a song, they know to go find where the scale is, what scale I use, what chord progressions to use, what inversions I can do. Like it's all there, kind of call it like the theory Bible. I don't want to offend anyone. I am Catholic too, so I feel I'm allowed to use that. But it's like the theory Bible. It's all there. Why I love it. Also, save money in the long run. So yes, it's $35 up front. And not only should you not be buying it, your family should be paying for it. And then you let them know they will never have to buy another theory book again. And I calculated, I was like, if a theory book is like $10 and they do one every year and they're with you for like over 10 years, like that's a lot of money. That's more than the 35. So they are saving. So that's my little spiel on that. Not sequential, and it's adaptable to any method book series you're using. So I just like that. I just like the adaptable side of it. It's not, so you'll be learning a piece in a method book and you're like, oh, this is covering these chord progressions, or it's covering this scale, or it's covering this chord. And then I was like, okay, let's go learn it in the Cascade book, right? And side thing, I know I didn't write this in my slides anywhere, but so many times kids come home from school and they have their lessons and they're like, Tara, can we just do the Cascade book today? And I'm like, you're asking to do yes, of course we could just do the Cascade book, no problem. They love it, and they don't feel like it's theory. I'm not personally a fan of testing and doing levels. That's why I love that April and I are doing this, because we have very different approaches. And there are so many teachers out there that love RCM and love the testing, and parents and kids that love that. So that is their alley, and I'm in my own little bubble. And so that's why this is great. So we have a little bit for both. Yes, my non-notes approach. I'm sure you noticed when I was scrolling, there's not really a lot of stuff with real notes, like reading on the staff. And that's because I want the students just to be able to approach theory, just looking at the piano, understanding it. And hold on, so for example, Sawyer, he obviously, this was like the second lesson. I'm gonna actually share this. I'm gonna play it. Okay, let's try. First improv on lesson number 3. Okay, 1 second. And obviously he doesn't know how to read notes. No, that's not the one I want to do. I'm sorry. Here. I won't play the whole thing.
Any white notes will work.
This is like second or third lesson. We're making music. That's all they want to do. Oh, that's Carol Bells. Anyway, so that's why I like this approach, is because I will show them a scale in the book, and I will get to that question that someone asked. And we just write it out and they see what notes they're allowed to play. And then we just go to the piano and we play it. And that's great for little kids. That way they can make music. That's all they want to do. That's why they come to us. They just want to play. So you may have noticed not many words or direction in my book either. And that's literally why I created my course, because of this book. Because I didn't want to put all these words and directions, because that would throw kids off. They'd be like, they have to read stuff. They don't want to read. They just want to be told what to do. So that's where the teacher comes in and you tell them what to do and what the concept is and what to fill in. But that's why I created my course, where I literally go through the entire book. Let's see if I can get here. Oopsie, went too far. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to give you a sneak peek into my course if it loads. Share screen. This back and forth is tricky. Okay, I'm going to go to teacher login. And here. Just so you can see. So what I did is I created 2 modules. I broke it down to like the easier pages, the ones I go to first when I start with a student, and then I do the harder pages. A lot of the harder pages are similar to the easy ones, but they have harder concepts. And then I also did put just different, pages that have nothing to do with like the first module. Anyway, it's coming. It's probably slow because of Zoom. Today would be good. So yeah, so once it loads, I have a unit for each page, and I've done videos on how I teach those concepts to kids. And it walks you through, and you can do it with your students, and it would be great if it loaded. Maybe it doesn't want to load. Okay, I'm just gonna let it load for a second, and I'll just keep going with the slides. I'll just show you some things that are in. Okay, so for example, I have the whole page for major inversions, for major inversions. This is one of the videos, but I've done it for C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Same thing for G major, for scales, for chord progressions, for figuring out, I have my method for figuring out how many sharps. There's the traditional method, but I made up my own method. Anyway, I know we're tight on time, so I'm gonna actually just keep scrolling. Theory book playlist. So I don't like forcing my method or my course on people. So you have the option of, I have a playlist, and I can give you guys the link. I can send that out tomorrow, where I just do a quick overview. There's like 83 videos. It's just quick 2 to 5 minute overview of how I do the page. But my course just goes so much more in depth. But if you wanted to buy the book, you could just go and check out the videos in this playlist, and it would just tell you kind of what to do. So here's Tessa. Here's how I fill out the scales. She is 15 now. And so there is a video, but for time purposes, I'm just going to do this. So in each little wave, I write out the scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, or I have them write it out. The little dots above are the finger numbers for the right hand, and below are the left. So then they can visually see it, which is great for little kids. But I've done this with older kids that like come to me and they don't know anything about theory, and they just pick up scales like that. So that's how I fill that page out. And if she could do it with her right hand, the other page, the little bubbles, she gets to color it in, and left hand, and so forth. The little star would be like if she can do the scale hands together. This is Tessa still. She enrolled in a theory music class in school. And I'm just gonna keep going. I know we're time. I did like we did the circle of fifths together, and I made a boom deck for circle of fifths that we did together too during our lesson. And I want to redo this. So this is what Tessa's mom said to me like a couple weeks ago. My daughter has played piano for several years, but it wasn't until she met Tara that she actually started to enjoy piano. And she'd been on my wait list for years, but then Matt lost his job and I was like, I need to take on these students. So I took her on. It used to be a chore for Tessa to practice piano, but after working with Tara just a few lessons, her love of music and the piano truly blossomed. I now actually have to tell her to stop playing the piano and go to bed. After working with Tara, Tessa has decided to enroll in the music program at her high school. We've tried 3 different piano teachers before we met Tara, and she was a game changer for my daughter. I highly recommend Tara and wish I'd found her sooner. So Tessa literally also teaches for my school. It took 1 year for her, 6 months. And then she started teaching. She loves pop songs. She loves theory. She literally has, for like 4 months, we've been just doing theory in our lessons, like one piece with notes and then theory. And she told me, she's like, my mom used to beg me to get off, or she begged me to go practice. And she's like, now it's 10 p.m. and she begs me to get off the piano. This is Caitlin. She has been with me for a while. This is my super old book. We're going through 7th chords. I won't play the videos. This was September. She's like taller than me. That was our first time seeing each other again after COVID. It's like, what happened? This is Laura. She is in my course. You guys might know her from Instagram. I've been making good headway through the training these last 2 weeks, feeling on a roll. And Natalie, her daughter, is loving the theory book. I couldn't find a picture. She put one in, I'll like scroll in stories and I saw it. I was like, oh, that's my theory book. Oh, that's Laura. Oh, that's Natalie. So that was really cute. And she's starting to incorporate boom cards in her lessons. Okay, I'm going fast. Boom cards. I have them in my program. It is the closest thing I can create to an app. I wanted to do an app forever for my book. And that would be really expensive. And now there's boom cards and it makes me so happy. So I am creating literally boom cards for each page. Oh, the other thing I was saying that I missed, I don't know if you guys see on the little side, how there's no notes in not a lot of notes in the theory book. That's because I am planning on doing a million books related to the theory book. So that one chords page, I turned into an 80-page chords book that addresses chords and notes and everything. That's what I want to do for scales and inversions and chord progressions. Like, my list is endless, but that is, anyway, that's side note. Okay, but I am creating boom cards for each page. Like if you go through the chords page, there's gonna be all sorts of different chord boom cards that you can do to reinforce that, or same thing for scales, all that stuff. So I have a really, really big surprise coming up really, really soon. Okay, this is the boom cards unit. Obviously I can't log in right now with Zoom. It's not letting me, so it's fine. But teachers in my program have access to every single boom card I make. And every time I make a new one, I add it in there and have it, and it's part of the certification. Mary, who is here today, this is one of the first messages. She was one of the first teachers to sign up for my program and be completely certified. And she goes, love being part of this program and so happy I saw on Instagram. You are so great at what you're doing. I'm almost 70. I think you are 70 now. You just had your birthday recently. You've inspired me to do something out of my comfort zone, and it's great. And she feels like family. Like, we will meet in person one day. If I had her speak right now, she would rave about Cascade method. Like, I'm so flattered, and I love you, Mary. Thank you so much for all your support. Here, this another one from you. I'm just gonna keep going, but yeah, she has the Cascade method. Okay, just to read. Has been a great week using Cascade method. Over half my students now have the book. I had one student, 15-year-old with Asperger's, never talks, did his chord rolls in 20 seconds. See, kids just love being timed. Love the playlist. It's another thing I do. Student wrote her first song, CDE. I've noticed students are not struggling with their note names as much. So that's because of my piano tool note match here. Anyway, thank you for your time and many teaching ideas. And Mary, thank you. Sharon, she is another teacher. She's in Australia. She's in my program. She is also helping actually sell Note Match in my theory book. She's actually doing a whole course on theory with kids and using the book, which is the coolest thing ever. Okay, we're almost done. I did something crazy last night. So I don't like imposing my whole course on people. Like there's stuff for everybody. So I literally extracted my 2 units that cover my theory book. So those of you, because obviously we're covering just theory today, if you're interested in just this whole theory thing, I extracted it. And so this is the deal I want to give you guys today. So I'm calling it Modern Theory Pro, and it's a mini course. It's just extracting my theory stuff. And I'm putting 2 huge bonuses in this little course, which is all my decks I've made so far in Boom. So you get my 50 decks, and you get the PDF of my theory book. So if you're teaching online, that's gold. And then you can always print any page you need for any student if you're doing it in person. Tomorrow it'll be $350. Tonight I'm taking $100 off. So if you by midnight join this little course, it'll be $250. And literally the Boom cards alone is over $100 if you bought all my things. My theory book, the studio license, I only sell for $50, even though it should be more. So literally it's like you're buying a course for $100, which is nothing. And then the Boom cards pays for itself, like just with that. Anyway, so that's what I did last night, and I couldn't sleep because I was so excited because I really think this would be super valuable for you guys. So I will share the link when I stop sharing. But for those of you who maybe don't have that money to spend, which I totally understand, I have a theory code for you, theory 25. It will take 25% off the real book, the physical one. So I'll add that in the chat, and then emails to come from us tomorrow.